Whether a company should expand has to be a deliberate choice. I'm really not in favor of the just do it approach to globalization, no matter what the costs and the consequences. And here, I think the sector that you operate in has a huge influence. So, retailing and banking, for example, are for somewhat different reasons very tough sectors in which to expand internationally, unless you have, say, a niche in retailing like Zara in fast fashion. And so for Walmart, I think it was an interesting issue about whether they should have pushed as hard as they did to open up stores overseas, or whether, despite the lobbying by the banking industry to prevent them from entering financial services, whether horizontal expansion into financial services targeting relatively poor buyers who are underserved by the current vendors, whether that might not have been a better focus for the company. I think the second thing is if you do decide that conditions are right in your sector to expand internationally, you still have to ask yourself, what kinds of differences matter the most in my industry that I really have to address? And those are really going to vary a lot depending on the sector and depending on the company. If you're a media company trying to expand overseas, cultural differences and regulatory barriers are likely to loom large. If you're a cement company trying to expand overseas, probably the geographic factor is going to be significantly more important. And third, I think that having identified what the differences are that really matter in your particular case, it's really important to think broadly about strategies for dealing with those differences. Are you going to adjust what you do to adapt to them? Are you going to try and group things or aggregate in a way that helps you at least partially overcome some of the effects of differences? Or are you going to try and exploit those differences or selected dimensions of differences by engaging in arbitrage strategies? So I really tend to focus on these three, what I call AAA strategies of adaptation, aggregation, and arbitrage as a way of getting managers to think harder about how to get out of the groove that proved successful for them in the home market, but that might not work so well internationally.